This is the best piece of weird girl fiction that's ever been written. I really mean that. It's Weird Girl Winter, according to Ren, so go follow Ren. Ren's great, and winter is a great time for weird girl fiction. And this is the best weird girl fiction that's ever been written. And what I mean by that is not, according to my taste, or it's a book I really like. It is conceptually the pinnacle of what weird girl fiction gets into, which is our own inherent weirdness, not just like how zany we can get, how violent we can get, what else can we imagine, but our own inherent weirdness and the inescapability of that, how it's through our own weirdness that we engage reality itself. That is what weird girl fiction amounts to. And this book gets there in droves. It is so good. I have been sitting on this book for months after loving it, reading it, and it's so dense and juicy in a wonderful way that I've put off actually formulating things to say about it, because it really isn't something I want to do a 10-minute video on. It's something I'd rather write a 30-page investigation of, or at least 10. Look at this for a second. Each one of these underlinings is a banger of a line. I'm not just like being loose with the underlining here. It is just a really, really dense, beautifully written work. It is, properly speaking, David Lynchian. It is on the level of Lynch. It's not inspired by Lynch alone. It engages primarily the commodity form. So this way to summarize this is, when we go shopping for things, we are not falling in love with the object itself. We're in love with the packaging, and the packaging creates a void where our desire penetrates and targets. So, even if it's like an apple, a very simple object, there's still commodity form involved in that, in the name the apple gets, in the way we psychically engage the shiny skin, etc. So that's an experience that we're penetrating and seeking after with our desire. And this is what drives capitalism in all of its askew expressions, in the ways in which we go crazy shopping for Tickle Me Elmo or whatever. If you would like to investigate what commodity form means, I recommend Todd McGowan's Pure Excess. If you want a bunch of other, before I get further into You Too Can Have a Body Like Mine, if you want more recommendations, here's my stack of other weird girl fiction I recommend and have talked about before. My Year of Rest and Relaxation, Lapvana, Eyes Are the Best Part, The Guest, The Third Hotel, and Bunny. If you want some theory to recommend as well, this is all by Todd McGowan, The Impossible David Lynch, Capitalism and Desires is the main one I recommend, Embracing Alienation. Weird girl fiction is embracing alienation. If you want even more, you want some Zizek. This is in reverse order. Metastases of Enjoyment. Which one? Plague of Fantasies. You can get more partial object focused things, and Ticklish Subject. That's the broad swath territory, if that's what you're into. But let's talk more about You Too Can Have a Body Like Mine. This book is beyond just like fever dream in the sense of, oh, this is a way you're getting lost in things. Like, this writing is transporting. It's something to go slowly through. Your bearings on what the story is are very thrown. And the character herself is struggling through existence itself. She starts life with a boyfriend and a roommate, and the roommate is basically too close to her and taking over her life, her appearance, and her boyfriend is this impenetrable thing that, even though we get these vivid descriptions of their, trying to say this the right way, sexuality, we get to the weirdness inherent to that as well. So we have the weirdness of the commodity form that's centered on these hostess-like cupcakes called crispy cakes. It's a double K. They get a funny name. These cakes are basically eating nothing. You're eating a void. That's the general idea. And we get this cartoon character that's, in pursuit of the cakes and never gets the cake. And we get to the real deep inherent weirdness of that in every iteration. We get to the real deep inherent weirdness of relationships. We get to the weird, deep inherent relationship of other people with the face and being too close and giving gifts and love. It's a very dense, beautiful work. Neighbors across the street strangely vacate their home and put on sheets like ghosts, and the protagonist becomes enamored with that and the void that creates, and the shelter one gets in putting a sheet on yourself. This is, properly speaking, ontological. It is how we engage reality with this askew weirdness. It brings us to the concept of the Lacanian concept of lamella, this squirmy, unendingness of life that reproduces asexually. We talk about lamella on the channel. So we're getting to lamella in beautiful iterations here as well. There are cult-like elements. There's a game show where couples go on and they have to figure out who their partner is. That's my partner. And if you can't figure out who your partner is, in a crowd of other people, you have to break up permanently, legally. There's going to a Wally store where the shelves shift around so that you can never find what you actually want because you're a hunger adventurer rather than someone who's there to buy the thing that you want. You're not allowed to actually get what you're asking for so that your desire is sustained. It's harmful for you to have your desire interrupted. There are these just hugely beautiful iterations. Kleeman also has this intense engagement with nature and how the outside world carries on without us, but gets penetrated by our own psychic engagement with it and creations, how nature itself goes askew, how this impenetrability of the commodity form, this thing that you're, this immortal plastic thing you're after, gets expressed in nature as well, even though it doesn't, even though it's not natural to it. Descriptions about light, I love this work. It is one of the best works that's ever been written. I'm comparing it to all the classics I've read, all these other things. This is very, very top fiction. So if you're celebrating Weird Girl Winter, please include You Too Can Have a Body Like Mine. I also recommend her other novel, and she is coming out with a new work that is engaging the idea of utopia. So both utopia and apocalypse, post-apocalypse, like my own, are ways of engaging how society changes and who we are when the cover for the way things are supposed to be is gone. So how do you get to that change in society? That's the most important thing to be talking about and engaging in thought right now, period. She is doing a talk tomorrow with the American Academy in Berlin. You can look it up online. It's tomorrow morning. So I'm going to tune in for that. I really recommend it. But I love this work very dearly, and it is just a wonder to read. A pure joy, rife with an enjoyment, bewilderment, stunning lines. Yeah.